Hello, my beautiful friends. I hope everybody is doing great today and that everybody slept well, that your week went well, and that you are ready for the weekend because it's Friday. And you know what Friday means? Friday means Yarn Fairy Fridays over here until October. So we are going to be looking at some little amigurumis today. Actually, several of you sent in your little amigurumis. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, I will make sure to pop it down in the description below. We are doing a little community come together to make somebody's dream come true for Halloween, to be a yarn fairy. If you want more details on that, then watch that first video. I went into detail about it, and also I talk about her video, which is in the description for that video. So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of explaining everything every time I do a video, so I'm just putting that in my descriptions until October. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's easily found there. But anyway, without further ado, let us hop into Yarn Fairy Friday. So I decided, before I hop into Yarn Fairy Friday, today I'm drinking out of my Fur Mama cup. I'm trying to include what I'm drinking in my videos, and then you guys can let me know what you're drinking. I'm having a cinnamon vanilla nut coffee with cinnamon and toffee creamer. My toffee creamer, it's the Starbucks one. It was basically out, so I put the rest of it in with my cinnamon creamer. There's not much of that left either. So I have like a cinnamon toffee nut creamer. And then the coffee itself is the cinnamon vanilla nut. It's like Hill Fair Farms or something. It's the HEB brand if you live in Texas. If you don't live in Texas, I'm sorry. I'm sure that there's other brands of coffee though that make a K-cup similar, but HEB is a grocery store that we have here that is fantastic. It's one of my favorite things in Texas is HEB. So anyways, without further ado, yummy! Now we'll get into Yarn Fairy Friday. So I started a little basket, and you're probably like, what the heck is that? I'll get into it. I started a little basket, and it's already full. So this is my Yarn Fairy Fridays basket. I have everything I've made or found for Yarn Fairy Fridays in there. Let me move my coffee over a little bit. Okay, so first, I'm kind of trying to feature like one item a week that's like, this was my Yarn Fairy Friday item. Because, you know, I said I was going to make at least one item a week. So one item a week, I'm like really being like, okay, what am I making? And then from there, I just kind of go with the flow. And if I put together something else, then I put together something else. And if I don't, I'm not going to feel bad about it because I did my one item already. My one item this week is, you probably recognize this if you follow our Llama Mama Kayla. So she made a little tutorial for a cute little mug, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make that for Yarn Fairy Friday. So here is my adorable little mug. You can make it like with coffee or whatever. I think I made mine with like, let's just assume whipped cream on top, maybe some sprinkles because it's got those little flecks in it. This is a great scrap buster. Other than this white, this taupe, I would say taupe, and this like light blue green color were both from my scraps, and this light blue greenish color, guys, it's early in the morning, was actually from when I made that Baby Yoda lovey. I literally don't have very much of it left at all, just like a handful. And I used that for it. And then this was like some of the sample yarn that came with my knitting machine that I got for Christmas last year. And it just like sits in my scraps. So, yeah. And then I doubled both of them together when I made the handle. And then I did some orange eyes, you know, for Halloween. And the thing is, what, Lincoln? The thing is, this will be a good thing year round, but I wanted that little homage with the orange eyes. Lincoln says good morning. Good morning, Link. Oh, getting so chunky, Lincoln. Say good morning, Link. Say good morning. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's purring. Well, now I'm holding Lincoln. Oh. Are you gonna get down? No, he's gonna walk back and forth and want me to pet him. We're not doing that right now. Okay, so anyways, that was my, like, featured item for Yarn Fairy Friday this week. Goodbye, Lincoln. What would a video be without my little co-host jumping up here to say hello to everybody? He, like I said in a comment the other day, this is his channel, and he just is so nice to let me play with his yarn because he loves yarn. So he's not my co-host, he's the host, and he just graciously lets me use his channel. So something else that I did was, because I was going into my first projects when I was getting the stuff out for that Granny Square video, that National Granny Square Day video, I also found some little things that I made when I was learning how to crochet that have just been sitting there with like no purpose to them. They were literally just me trying to figure out like what I was doing. So I pulled some things out. I had made these worry worms and they never had gotten their googly eyes because I didn't have googly eyes at the time. Well, not too long ago, I saw them at the dollar store and they have these like multicolored ones. And I was like, I know I want to get some of those because I know what I would use them for. I would use them for worry worms, which I call these bookworms, by the way. I know they're the same exact thing as worry worms, but I like the idea of them being like little reading buddies, like, you know, like a bookworm. But obviously, like, the worry worm thing is also adorable. This one is hilarious. If you guys saw my video yesterday, where I talked about making sure, that you stay with your chain facing the same way while you are crocheting a spiral, this is actually exactly a perfect explanation as to why it's important to make sure that you stay with your chain facing the same way, because if you don't, this can happen. So instead of getting a perfect spiral, you end up with that. Which, you know, for the purposes of little pocket-sized amigurumis to hand out, I think it's totally fine. Some kid will be like, so cute. But yeah, so this is actually, it came from my personal experience that I was telling you guys to make sure that you kept your chain facing the same direction the whole time that you were crocheting around, or crocheting down. And then I showed you guys this guy last week, I think. I don't know if I showed you guys this last week. I think I showed you this last week. Okay, so this was my my caterpillar, and I put out a caterpillar tutorial, which I will link in the description below. Oh, and I will also have Llama Mama Kayla's info and a link to her tutorial for her mini cup. But I put together a tutorial in case anyone needed a nice beginner-friendly tutorial for some kind of small amigurumi, since some of my little yarny family has not made amigurumi yet. So I thought that you guys might like that. And I even explained how to do a magic circle. So I tried to make it like super first amigurumi friendly. So this is the one I believe I showed you guys last week, and then this is the one that I put together with you during the tutorial. Make sure that's focused. And it's so cute because it's completely like posable, you know, you can like turn him and everything, but it's super sturdy and it's no-sew, so that's awesome. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. But I've got a couple of these little guys. Oh, I'm gonna pop in at the end of this video the Amigurumi, or not Amigurumi, the Yarn Fairy Friday emails that I got from you guys, which like I said, I actually got several, so I was super happy about that. And somebody even sent me a picture of their caterpillar, and they made it with extra balls. I thought that was so cute. They did like the Roy G. Biv colors. I loved that so much. That was really fun. If you guys make this caterpillar, even if it's not for Yarn Fairy Friday, send me a picture. I would love to see it. I'm gonna save this one for last, the one that you guys might have gotten a peek of. So, and then I know I showed this one last week. I know I showed both of these last week, so I'm not going to show them again really, but I'm just going to very, very briefly be like, these are also here. So I have this little jellyfish that I made, and if you want to see those in more detail, then you can watch last week's, because I won't torture you all through it again. And then this was my earthworm from last week. And then I've got two more things that came from my, I call it like a scrap project bin. So it's got just like little weird odds and ends, mostly that I made learning to crochet, and I like don't know what to do with, but there's nothing wrong with them. So one of them is this little bear head. One of the things that I made when I was learning to crochet was these like bear appliques. I made like a bunch of them. So here, this is a little bear head, and I don't know what this yarn is. This, I've used this in several different things. It's a scrap yarn I got from Goodwill, and it looks like blue jeans. It really reminds me of denim. So I thought that was kind of cute for like a little bear head. So I've got that little amigurumi, and then I had some more bear heads that I made in pink yarn and in white yarn. So if you see this little line, this is to me, I connected the appliques with like that pink sparkly yarn that I had from my cardigan / lovey project. Some of the pieces I put in my scraps when I disconnected it because they were too short to really do a whole lot with, and perfect for connecting these. So I connected together several appliques, and then I stuffed it, and I put a little face on there. And so there's this little, and it's super, super soft and squishy. Oh, it's sparkly too. That white is a sparkly. And it's super, super soft and squishy. So I thought, hey, you know, some kid will be happy to get that from their yarn fairy. And then the last thing is going to be a little bit of a fun project for us today. Let me put all of these creations back in their basket. And one last glimpse at this tiny coffee cup, you guys. I want to show you how big this is. Look how tiny. Is that not the cutest thing? I love it. Let's compare it to my coffee mug. I have a huge coffee mug. I like big coffee mugs. And let me have some coffee first. It's like a mommy coffee mug and baby. And I'm holding it by its little handle. So cute, you guys. Okay. And then this little monstrosity. This was another of my scrap project bin items from when I first learned to crochet. So this was another couple of bear appliques that I put together. And this was actually a ball that I made for my caterpillar tutorial. I made some extra balls to show size comparisons between like different size options. And then I threw this together and put it on here. But I gave it kind of a like sort of creepy face, because I was thinking that this is kind of like a little yarn zombie, like a little yarn scrap zombie that I thought would be fun for Halloween. Obviously not too scary, it's for kids, you know, but this is like, I thought it would be like a little fun Frankenstein. That's what I think. A Frankenstein, not a zombie. I think this is like a little Frankenstein for Halloween. So you know, I have it with the mixed matched eyes. I use that sparkly yarn again, and this is that Baby Yoda lovey yarn that I was talking about having a little handful of. But I thought just for funsies we could work on putting some like little arms and legs on this guy. And I know he's funny looking, but I think that it'll be such a fun little Halloween thing. I personally have a weak spot for like little scrappy Frankenstein-y kind of plushies. I love the way they looked when they're all kind of mixed matched and like very homemade looking and stuff. It's just something that I think is super cute. So I'm sure somebody will, some little kid will agree with me. Because I know I would have loved to get something like this as a kid. So I thought we could like make some little arms and legs to put on here. But first, before I do that, I'm not going to make you guys wait until the end of me playing around with my Franken kitty. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the submissions, the people that emailed me pictures for Yarn Fairy Friday. I'm going to go ahead and pop those in here so that you guys can see the adorable things that people are making for Crystal over at Chronically Crocheting. Thank you guys so much for sending those to me, and if you decide to stop watching after this, I totally understand. It's just going to be a little clips of me messing around with this Franken kitty probably. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you and your loved ones are taking care of the best that you know how, and that you're having a great Friday. I will see you guys tomorrow, if I don't see you in a little bit, to play with the Franken kitty. Thanks for joining me, guys. Alright, we're down here on our little workstation, and I've got little Franken kitty down here, and I grabbed some different things. So in my video yesterday, you might have seen that I said I made an extra horn on accident, and I think that this would make a cute little party hat for Franken kitty. So might as well use it for that. And then I grabbed some little scrap yarns from my scrap yarn stash, and I thought we could give this kitty some arms and legs. Like I said, this one is like that taupe yarn I was talking about for my cup. It came with my knitting machine that I got for Christmas, so I don't know what this yarn is. It's kind of hilarious. The label, it literally says nothing. But it's super, super soft. It's like, I'm pretty sure coated in like some kind of I don't know, fabric softener or something. It's because it's incredibly soft. I have no idea. Maybe it's just made of some weird material. But I've got that, and then I've got some blue sparkly yarn, and I've got some red, and I've got a little bit of this brown color. I think that these will be quite scrappy looking. So let's jump into it. So first things first, since we already have this party hat made, I was thinking we will figure out where we want it. I even considered making it a horn, but I think it's just a little bit too big for Franken kitty to be a horn. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it could be a party hat. What are we thinking? I think I'll put it on this side. So let me attach that really quickly. And there we go. Franken kitty now has his party hat. And I just stuffed the party hat with some yarn scraps, by the way, to help it keep a nice solid shape. And that is definitely nice and solid. It's not going to be squished down. It is loaded up with some yarn scraps. So I am happy with that. I think that's an adorable addition to Franken kitty. Next off, I think we should start with, let's start with arms. So for the arms, let's give him a red arm to begin with. So I'm pulling out my little scrap ball and grabbing my hook. I'm thinking that I will just anchor right into the side. Well, it might help if I put my yarn on my hook first. Actually, rather than put my yarn on my hook, let's see. Say this is about the halfway point of the side. I'm actually going to pull the yarn through to give it a nice secure attachment, and I'm just going to knot it on here. Oh look, those are Christmas colors. I accidentally do Christmas colors a lot. I just like Christmas colors. So I'm going to give that a good several knots. I want it to be on there nice and securely. So we'll do 3 knots. And then I'm going to grab my handy dandy plastic embroidery needle, or not embroidery needle, darning needle, and stick my tail down into the body. I always use this needle because this needle is not very well made. It has like little plastic bits that catch on the yarn. So we've got that nice and in there. I even kind of tucked the ball down in there. This needle has like little plastic bits that are not like rounded off. See if I can get that to focus for you. But I think you can see it, how it's got things that catch, and it's like that the whole way down. It's got like a seam. So I don't like to use that needle for sewing, but that needle for sticking things into my plushies is perfect because it catches the yarn and pulls it down in for me. So I'm just going to do a chain, I think, for the arm. And it will look awesomely scraptastic. So the first thing I need to do is make a slip knot and try to get it as close as I can to the plush body. This is me thinking on the fly, so yeah, I'm not very, I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm making a slip knot, and I'm gonna pull that down to the body as close as I can. Get my hook in there. Oops. Now I have to try to pull this. We'll do it this way. Okay. You know what? Interesting. You know what? I know what I'll do. And then I will just have to go through and tuck in some more of that base. But now I can just do, I can just chain. This is real life, guys. You're watching real life on the fly chaoticness. So we've got that, and then I can just tuck in more of this, and then that'll be good. And it's all secured on there, like it's not going to come off. Once I've got as much down in there as I want, pretty much, I'm actually going to just put a little dab of hot glue. And then I'm going to push that down onto there for a second and let that dry. And that'll really keep it from coming out a little bit further than I want. It's tied on there though. It's knotted on there, triple knotted on there, and then single crocheted around the spot. So it's actually anchored on there a lot. Like the arm is not going to come off, but it might come out a little further than I want it to, because I want it to start at the chain. And get this little glue strand, these little glue hairs that like to trail behind. There we go, and then that looks great. Perfect. And then this is just where I knotted, so that's just gonna show up because it's actually already tucked in. Awesome. All right, now we can just chain our length. And I'm thinking that these could be like, they can be different lengths and stuff too, because this is our Franken kitty. The more chaotic it looks, the better. And then I'm just going to skip a chain and single crochet into that one, and then I'm going to slip stitch my way down to give a little thickness. This angle is a little odd, trying to keep it so that you guys can see. Hopefully it's focused. I want to make sure it's focused for you guys. Although this is a really bright yarn, so it's probably blowing up a little. It's probably blowing up the camera a little bit with its bright color. And this will be the last one. And then just gonna cut my yarn. And pull that through. Gorgeous. That looks like a tail almost. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't even think about giving Franken Kitty a tail. We're gonna have to give him a tail. For sure. Speaking of tails, let us get rid of this tail. Just gonna pop that on my needle, and then I'm going to kind of weave in to this bottom loop and into this hole. Careful to avoid my glue. Gonna go in where I started at, and then I'm gonna pull all the way through. And that'll give me a nice secure little arm. And then is this gonna be where I put my other arm? Let's see. Probably up one stitch. Hopefully you guys can see decently. I'm like not really paying as much attention as I should be to where the camera is placed. So I'm gonna put my other arm here, and so I'm actually going to do a little knot right here for nice security of my other arm, and this will be covered up when I do my other arm here. And then I'm just gonna weave this back in. And that's what that looks like. And then I'm just gonna cut it off. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I'm talking I'm talking in a format that probably sounds like I'm explaining to you what you should do. Do not take my word. I'm just having fun and making this chaotic thing. So here's our first arm that totally looks like a little side view of a tail to me. But I'm kind of glad that it looked like a little tail, because now it made me realize that we need to do a tail. So that's one arm down. And I'm thinking we'll do the other arm in brown. So getting my little scrap of brown. And I learned from last time, from that other arm, we're always learning here, that I'm going to do the arm a little bit different for the attachment process. I'm going to go ahead and throw a slip knot onto my hook and come in here and just do a slip stitch, attach. Oops, I pulled out a little bit of stuffing. Get off of there. And I can always come in with my tweezers later if that bothers me and take care of that. And then I can just go ahead and chain. Start that chain for this arm. Okay, I'm gonna leave this tail out for now because I think I'll tie into that at the end. Was just debating on how I wanted to do that. So let's see how the length is looking. This is how long our other arm is. Here's our current length for this. Do one more and then we'll go ahead and turn around. Turn around, bright eyes. Let's see. So I did my single crochet and then I'm chaining down. Anybody actually watching this part, I so appreciate you hanging out with me. I am just literally hanging out with you right now. This is like not a planned part of this. This is not your usual programming. This is just me being me. Wow, that did not take much of that yarn scrap at all. So when you get down to the base, it is like so hard to hold on to. Oops, I made a single crochet. Oops. Making a slip stitch. What am I doing? It's so hard to hold on to the plushie and do this. So I'm like literally holding the plushie. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and cut from our brown and pull this out. Give that a little tug. And I yanked on that a little bit, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to knot this with the tail, knotting the end that we just made and knotting the tail together. Gonna give that a couple of knots. I always just like, I feel like 3 is the magic number. Well, 3 is actually my favorite number, so that might be part of it. There we go. Looking good, sir. Yeah. And then let me get those tails out of there. And that's all knotted on really well, so I don't need to worry about going and knotting. My yarn is splitting. I don't need to worry about going and knotting that somewhere else, like I did the other side, which was also knotted on really well, but I just like, you know, I don't know. I always prefer it to be extra secure. This is folded up in here. There we go. There's one pulled through, and now for the other one. My little scarf is getting in the way. Maybe I should have waited to put that on. Yeah, the scarf, I literally just chained and then single crocheted back down. And I did that before I was thinking about coming on camera and assembling some randomness with this Franken kitty. So I would have done that with you guys if I had thought about it, but I was, like I said, I was just messing around with things that I had made before, and this was just one of those things. So I brought these through the same hole. Knotting this does absolutely nothing, but I'm going to knot it anyway. And then I'm going to use my other needle and shove them back up in there. Make some little extra stuffing. So, gonna shove the knot in first. Oop. And I'm using the thicker end of this, so that might be too thick. There we go. Now I think I can use the thicker end of this. Just kind of stick these in here. It makes for some extra stuffing, and these are like pieces that would be too small to do anything with, really, other than use for stuffing. So I like to just do it that way. So here is our Franken kitty so far. Looking like an absolute monstrosity. I love him. I was thinking for the legs, maybe we should do like some spirals. I keep wanting to be like, what do you guys think? But, you know, I can't actually hear what you think. You can let me know in the comments if you agree with my choices, or if you think I'm being like a total hot mess over here. So this sparkly one is like a really thin yarn, so I'm thinking might be even extra chaotic and like double this up. Yeah, let's double this up with some red and make a spiral for one of the legs. So I'm just going to line these up and make a slip knot. These are like America colors now. I went from Christmas to America colors. Those actually look super pretty together, I'm not gonna lie. Move him out of the way because we aren't going to attach these ones straight to the body like we did the other ones. And then let me try to put these balls over here in a way that they're not going to go flying off my desk as soon as I pull on them. Okay. And I just showed you guys how to do this yesterday, but now we're going to do one together anyways. We're going to make a spiral. I just realized that this video is super long. I hope that you guys aren't tired of me. Oh my gosh, why is that actually so pretty together? I want to make sure that's focused for you guys. Why is that actually so pretty together? Okay, in order for this video to not be like hours long, I'm going to skip ahead to when I finish the spirals for these. Alright, and we are back. So you might see that I actually changed my mind, which is the fun of crafting, that you can change your mind and do whatever you want, especially with something like this. This is so fun because you can just really have all of your creative liberty with it. So for starters, I went ahead and made a leg. I decided that I actually think that I should save the spiral for the tail. And look how pretty this is. I actually love these colors together. If it can focus for you. They look so good. There is a little bit of a halo on this blue yarn because it has a little bit of mohair in it. But yeah, I love that. Love it. And then I just did a magic circle with 4 in it and kind of crocheted a little tube, and I tried to kind of go in a little so it would give like a foot shape so that he could have a little leg. And then I also moved his scarf so that it goes over his shoulder. I like that better than it hanging in the front because it was kind of in the way. So I'm going to make another leg with a similar idea. I didn't keep track of how long it is or anything because, like I said, with this being a Franken kitty, the limbs can be different lengths and stuff, and I think it kind of adds to it. So I'm going to go ahead and make another leg and attach the tail and then see where we're at. See if I have any other little Franken kitty extras that I want to attach. But here is where we're at right now. Okay guys, here we go. I went ahead and attached the other leg, and I also went ahead and attached our kitty's tail. I think that looks adorable. I will show you guys this in in a different angle here shortly. But here is our Franken kitty, Franken cat. And I got a little piece of paper because I was thinking I could make a little tag that says like Franken kitty or Franken cat on it. I should probably decide which one it's going to say before I start writing. And then I'm going to coat it with tape to make it kind of like, you know, waterproof and sturdy, and then string it on here because I thought that would be cute. Franken kitty, Franken cat. You know what, we'll do Franken cat just to make sure that it fits, because I don't want this to be too big. I cut it to like the maximum size I would want it to be, and then I'll probably trim down around it. So Franken cat. There we go. We have Franken cat. And then I'm gonna trim it a little bit, I think, and put a little hole in it, cover it with some tape to kind of waterproof it, and then string it on there, and then I will be back to show you guys our finished Franken cat. Alright guys, if you stuck with me this whole time, you are a freaking champion. Comment below with Franken kitty or Franken cat in your comment if you stuck around this long, just so I can see who actually stuck around this long. I don't think very many people will, but we are done with Franken cats. So I attached a little tag. This is focused for you guys before I start going on about it. I attached a little tag. Oh wow, that is not focused at all. What is going on? There we go. Okay, so I attached a little tag and I coated it in tape. I put it along the front and the back, and I didn't trim it down just to keep it waterproof. And it says Franken cat, and I put it in a way that it'll be easily detachable, that they can just cut that little piece of yarn and take it off. But I thought it would be fun to let them know what it is. And then here is, try to get my fingers out of the way since it's not very big. Here is our Franken cat. He totally has some Christmas vibes going on with that red and green. Oops. And then here is the back. He's got his little scarf. He's got his little tail. I love it. I think it's so fun. I know this is probably kind of a niche thing, so hopefully some kid really likes this. But I just thought it was so fun, and I had fun making it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and making our Franken cat, and also I hope you enjoyed Yarn Fairy Friday. If you decide to join in next week, make sure you send me an email with your picture and your name, and if you want to put a little blurb or anything, you can feel free to do that. My email will be down in the description, and I look forward to seeing what you guys make next week. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye!